Hi everyone, I just thought I'd put a video on. My name is Hannah. I am 39, I am a nurse. I work full-time as a nurse on a busy ward. I have a 4-year-old child and normally I'm very active. So I wanted to put this video on, just a short video. This is my first video. I've never blogged, I've never filmed anything. Like, I'm literally doing this on my phone. Never done anything like this before. But I wanted to share the journey that I've been on with a herniated disc. And this is ongoing now for almost 8 months. So I'm going to try and keep this quite brief. And then if people are interested, I can do more videos. But basically, a lot of the videos I've watched and groups I joined, there were very kind of few people kind of my age, that didn't get better and ended up having surgery. So I have improved massively in the last couple of months and I do not need surgery. So I just wanted to see, you know, if this video helps anybody to feel better, to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, then I've done my job well. So basically, December last year, it was my day off. Before I had my son, he's 4, before I had my son, I was at the gym like 5-6 times a week, strength training, very physically fit, very lean, very strong. Since I've had him, I would kind of go to the gym once or twice a week when I got the time. We juggle like our childcare around shifts, so that just makes it a bit harder. But anyway, it was my day off. I'd been to the gym, hadn't done anything particularly hard, like just a standard workout. Literally parked my car, swung my legs out to get out of the car and just had the worst shooting, burning pain kind of from the bottom of my buttock, like all the way down my right leg. I've never experienced anything like it. I literally nearly cried just getting out of the car. But I kind of thought, I've obviously just pulled something. Like, I'd had a busy couple of days at work on shift. So I thought, you know, maybe I've just done a bit too much. So I got home, iced it, took some painkillers. It eased off over the day. The next morning I woke up to go to work and I could barely get out of bed. The pain was so bad. So that was in December. And then it quickly kind of just escalated and got worse. And to the point where I was getting kind of 3-4 hours sleep a night. I would wake up at like 3-4 in the morning in complete agony and would just have to get up for the day. And I was up at 5 a.m. to start at 7 anyway, and I used to do long days. And things that really made it worse was sitting. So the GP was brilliant, got me on some cocodamol, some naproxen, which massively took the edge off. But I started to kind of never sit at work because it was just too sore. So I basically do like a 12.5-hour day. I'd always get out late as well. And I just wouldn't sit because I just couldn't tolerate it. I would sit for my break and then I would just suffer for it. So I'd quite often just stand in the staff room and just have my break. And I would get ice out of the ice machine and like ice my leg and my bum because it was just so bad. So I would get home having not properly sat down and my feet were just aching, like calves were aching because I've just not offloaded them. I self-referred to staff physio right after Christmas because it was kind of mid-December. The staff physio at work saw me pretty quickly. She examined me, was adamant it's kind of true sciatica. I've probably got like a bulging disc compressing a nerve. Weirdly enough, I've never had any back pain all the way through this. Never any back pain, just sciatica from the disc. And the pain just wasn't really getting much better. Like, there were times when I felt like it was so much worse. So the GP started me on some amitriptyline at night and I started kind of low. And then over the last couple of months, I've been up on a higher dose. And the highest that was 70. I felt like the amitriptyline made a difference for the first kind of couple of weeks. Then I saw my physio again. And she was like, you're clearly not getting better. Like, we need to do something else. Like, she'd given me exercises, but they just made it worse. They generally made it worse. So the only thing that helped me was not sitting and walking. So I couldn't walk far, but I would walk And obviously at work, if I didn't sit, I was walking constantly on the ward. So actually being at work was sometimes a bit easier than having a day off, because I couldn't sit. I couldn't recuperate from my shifts. So I'd end up walking my dog multiple times a day, or like lying on the floor because I just couldn't get comfortable. So she referred me to a kind of musculoskeletal spinal service that we have here across Lothian, and I'm in Edinburgh. And I saw a spinal physio who examined me, and she was like, I'm almost 100% certain you've got a bulging disc that's compressing your L5 or possibly S1 or both nerve roots, and that's why you're in so much pain. She said, we can do nothing and hopefully it will just heal by itself, and you just need to stay, keep moving, stay active, but don't kind of do too much. And like, that is really kind of vague. Like I still don't really know what that means. So she suggested getting an MRI to see if we could kind of see if there was anything correlating that explains my symptoms. And then once you have an MRI, you are able to have things like nerve root injections, or like an epidural, where they basically try to kind of block the pain signals that are firing off from that nerve. And my sciatic nerve was very inflamed. Like, it was just so inflamed. So I would take the anti-inflammatories and it would settle for a bit, but then as they wore off, I could just feel the pain would just kind of escalate and would just get worse and worse. And I think when I saw her in February, there was days when my leg was completely numb. My foot was completely numb, or like half numb, and then I'd get like pins and needles and burning and buzzing. The buzzing was weird because it literally felt like there was a mobile phone in my foot that was just vibrating, and that would keep me awake. Sometimes if the pain wouldn't keep me awake, it was the buzzing. It was just awful. So I had my MRI, and that was urgent, and I got that in like 2 weeks. It did get reported on for nearly 3 weeks. I never saw my scan till later on, but she rang me, my spinal physio rang me to say, oh, your MRI has been reported on. And she basically explained, you've got a large central disc protrusion, which is compressing your nerve roots. And that's absolutely why you're in so much pain. Like, it's on the right side, but you've got some compression on the left as well. I have no symptoms in the left. And she was like, you don't sound great. I was like, I'm not great. I said, the pain's getting worse. Like, I've upped my amitriptyline. The GP doesn't really know what else. Like, I think we're going to have to go up on more analgesia. And she was like, I can't believe you're still at work. And I somehow stayed at work until at the end of April. I was still doing crazy things. Like, I had a day off with my son once a week. So like, I would take him out, I would drive the car, I would end up picking him up. I would hoover, I would mow the lawn, stupid things after doing a 12-hour day. Then I'll be back the next day for another 12-hour day. Looking back, it was a lot, but the advice I was given was, no, don't stop what you're doing, keep moving, keep doing your daily tasks. But these daily tasks were clearly irritating that nerve. So she said, I think we need to get you comfortable. So we need to get you these nerve root injections. So I was like, that's absolutely fine. Let's give it a go. I waited a couple of weeks for that. I had to go off sick on the day of the procedure to have it, because my trust makes you take it as sick and not like medical procedure day, which is a bit ridiculous. So I had to take a day off sick. My husband had to drive me back because you're not allowed to drive. The morning of it, like, I was sore, so I just felt like it wasn't going to be great because I was just very sore that morning. And by the way, when these kind of nerve blocks work, they work very well. We're talking like 70 to 80% of patients get like some form of relief. So whether it's that relief lasts a month, 3 months, a year, a couple of weeks, it's very high in terms of like the efficacy of them. So obviously I went and had those done. They were very painful for me. I think it was worse because I was sore, and then I had to lie on my front with my kind of like really still in like a horrible position that I would never ever get myself into. And then you had to be very still once the needles were going in. The space obviously around my nerves and because of the disc, I've got a very large bulge, was quite tight. So as he was trying to like inject the steroids and the local anaesthetic like pretty much next to the nerve, there's not a lot of space and it was tight. And as he injected it down, literally felt like acid burning from my bum to my foot. I have quite a pain tolerance, but I was pretty much screaming on the table and I couldn't move. It was grim, but I managed it because I was like, we've got this far. I was like, keep going. We're doing it. I left that appointment with no pain, which was amazing. And that night I had the first sleep, the best sleep I've had for months. And I was advised by my physio to take like a week or two off after that injection to really like take it slow, really calm it down, like slow down the pace. So I didn't kind of do anything. I just kind of went for a walk with my dog and that was it. About 4 days after that injection, I woke up like 3, 4 in the morning and I have never known pain like it. And when I had my injections, the radiologist did say, these injections, the steroid can flare the pain. So it might get a bit worse for a few days, maybe a week, 2 weeks, but then it calms down. So I was thinking, oh, well, do you know what? It won't last. It's bad, but it's not going to last. And then we got to like nearly 2 weeks and I was screaming, just getting out of bed. I couldn't sit, period. I felt sick. I was just crying. I couldn't do anything. I rang my spinal physio and she was like, I'd really expect you to be feeling better. And I was like, I'm not. Like, my amitriptylin's been upped to the max. Like, I had to go to the GP and he was like, what? Why haven't you come to me? How long have you been like this? I was like, oh, weeks. But I kept being told it's going to get better and it just hasn't. So the GP was like, do you know what? Whether this is a flare or it's just bad, we're going to switch your meds. So I got switched from cocodamol to tramadol and he started me on some pregabalin and some nefapam. So the nefapam was like a top up if the other stuff wasn't working. So my pain relief just ramped up so quickly. And then I spoke to her a couple of days after that and she was like, no, I'm not happy. Like, you're not right. I want you to come to clinic and see the surgeon and like, you're clearly not getting better. She said there can be a bit of a wait, but I'll try and get him to see you urgently. So I was like, that's fine. Like, I've got some new pain relief, blah, 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 blah. Kind of 4 weeks in to this, I'd had to up my pregabalin. And it still was really bad. I was still up at 4 a.m. in agony, just stood all day. Or I'd have to like lie down on the floor, on the bed with an ice pack. I was really drowsy on the meds. I would like be up at 3, then be knackered by like 10 and I'd have to have a nap. Work were brilliant and have been brilliant. And my physio from work was ringing me like every week to check in because she's like, I know you're really struggling. I cannot even describe the pain. Like, I did not realise how bad nerve pain was until I've experienced it. I've nursed hundreds of patients with severe nerve pain, amputees, horrendous sciatica. I popped all these pills out without even thinking that these patients had been on for like 10, 15, 20 plus years. And then I'm on all this stuff. So when it was at its worst, I was on 6 painkillers. 6 painkillers. So basically I was waiting to see the surgeon. That was in May. I've still not had an appointment. I've been ringing pretty much every week just to check I'm still on the list. I've not been forgotten. I'm still on the list to get an appointment. The secretary told me a non-urgent appointment is 8 months. 8 months. And an urgent is a couple of months. So this is for someone that's in a lot of pain, young, working. And I've been lucky, like I've been able to take proper time off. So I went off sick after these injections in April and I haven't been back to work since. And I honestly feel taking the time off because I can actually protect my back has made a huge difference. I can pace myself, I can go for a walk with my dog, and if it's too much, I just come back and lie down. I put ice on it. I'm not rolling patients. I'm not moving patients up the bed. I'm not bending. So I think being away from work, huge part of my recovery, like number one. And I'm lucky because I get sick pay. And if you're struggling, this type of injury will not get better without slowing yourself down. And if you're in a job where you can't do that, then you have to be off sick. Okay. That's what it boils down to. Before I went off sick, I had some adaptations done on the ward. So I had like a saddle stool ordered, which was great because it kind of opened the pelvis, but I couldn't even sit on that for more than a couple of minutes. So I just found I didn't sit on it. She got me like an ergonomic, adjustable, special chair that was like my chair. But again, I just struggled to sit. And the thing that really helped me was a standing desk, because that was amazing because I could literally put the desk right up. And then that was like my computer with the desk, and I would like knock anyone else off it because I was like, this is my standing desk because I can't sit to do my notes. And then I would do my nursing notes or my admin or the rotas or whatever else I was doing on that standing desk. So that made a huge difference. So obviously I went off sick. I was in loads of pain. I wasn't really getting much better. The GP was like, you're waiting to see a surgeon. Like, I think you've done everything you can possibly do. And I was like, well, I don't really feel like I have done everything I possibly do. Like, walking helps, but that doesn't strengthen. That doesn't make my back stronger. It's a relief. It's a form of relief for me, but that is not like the answer. So basically I decided I was kind of on my own a little bit. So work physio didn't know what to do with me. My spinal physio had discharged me because I was going to see the surgeon. I hadn't seen the surgeon. GP was happy to keep giving me pain relief. Like, he's more than happy to do that, and he's more than happy to do my sick note. And I saw the same GP all the way through, which has been amazing, just to seeing the one person. But I felt like I was drug seeking. I was constantly needing more prescriptions. I was constantly asking, I'd email and say, do you know what, I'm just going to up the dose of this again. I'm going to up it. Like, I hated going to the pharmacy to collect all these controlled drugs. I would have to personally get it from the pharmacist. Like, my husband couldn't pick them up for me. Like, if I was struggling, I'd have to go and get it, and she'd have to watch me. It was surreal because I'm 39, and I think I was taking like 35 plus tablets a day total. So at its worst, it was bad. I would have thought sometimes, like, how could I stop this pain? Like, if I chop my leg off, like, honestly, if a surgeon had said, you know what, we'll take your leg off, I would have gone for it. I was in such a dark place. I was past it. I was mentally done. I was checked out. I couldn't cope any longer. So I was tired. I was in pain. I just felt groggy. I felt weak. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna sort this myself. I have been left on my own. I'm gonna do it. I had a lot going on in my life. I still have a lot going on in my life. But essentially it's me and my husband, and that's it. We have no family near us. I've had no help with this. I've basically done it pretty much myself. So I'd had like low back pain when I was younger through work, and that went on for a while. We're talking like years. And I thought in my head, I understood like the anatomy of the spine, the anatomy of the ligaments, the anatomy of connective tissues and muscles. And I had thought I had like some understanding of discs and anatomy in general. I really didn't. So I'd never actually seen my scan. I'd had the report. So I actually requested to get a copy of my scan and my report because I wanted to actually look at what I was experiencing. And I saw it briefly when I had my injections, and I literally walked into the room. I remember that. And there was this huge screen with someone's spine MRI on it, and it looked horrific. And I was like, oh my God, like that MRI looks horrendous. That's not my scan. That's not my scan. And he was like, it's your scan. I couldn't believe it. I could see without the report. And the radiologist was like, this is one of the worst disc bulges I've ever seen. It's a horrific looking scan and you'll probably need surgery. And he knew I was a nurse. That language, I know he didn't mean it. That comes across very frightening. Like, I was scared. I saw that. I saw his face. I was terrified. He was saying this might be a really difficult injection. And already I'm like, this is not going to work. I'm going to need an op. And it didn't work. It didn't work. It just flared things up. It's one of those things. So I had my images, I had my report, and my report states there's nerve compression, but it's not always very easy to see if there's like physical compression from a piece of disc that's like protruding out of the disc, or whether it's inflammation. And I think I probably have both. So if the nerve root injections don't work. Sometimes they obviously help that inflammatory response, but if there's a physical bit of disc, that's not going to shift. That's going to take time to be reabsorbed. So that's why I think I probably still did and still now do have physical compression onto that nerve root. So I started reading, I joined support groups for people in similar situations, which on Facebook, which I didn't find a very positive thing. Lots of people from America mainly, their healthcare system with insurance is completely different to the NHS. And I think there were so many people struggling and they hadn't had the right support and they ended up having surgery. And for some people that was great, that's their one little up and that took their pain away the second they've woken up. That's amazing. But there was people on there that had day surgery, microdiscectomies, which is what I was kind of looking to have, would walk to their car after going home the same day, would sneeze and they would re-herniate their disc. Or further down the line, they would re-herniate their disc and they would need another operation. And then there were some people on these support groups that are on their 5th or their 6th operation and are having full fusion surgery. And that scared me because I actually don't want to change the structure of my spine. My spine structure is okay. I've got this injury, but the rest of it doesn't look too bad. And I'm quite young and I'm quite fit. So when you have surgery that makes that disc smaller, and although the pain goes, that disc is still weakened and it's still damaged and it's not healed. So for me, you have to be very strict afterwards, kind of no moving, lifting, twisting for 6 weeks. And even then, you need to be having physio and rehabilitating that disc because it's damaged still. It's still damaged. So I didn't really want to have any of that. But the pain was so bad at one point, I was desperate. And I was waiting to see the surgeon. Like I said, I've still not had an appointment and we're almost in August. I did get some private quotes because some of the surgeons there do opposite the Spire in Edinburgh. And it was £14,000 to £16,000 for a 45-minute surgery, home the same day. But I was so desperate, I didn't care. I was like, my husband, we just need to find it. We just need to find the money. Don't care. I don't care. We need to find the money. We'd never be able to find that money. We just wouldn't. But you're in such a dark place, you don't care. And you'll all be reading this thinking, yeah, I've been there. Because you have. So I thought, you know what? I can't afford it. So I started looking at what else can I do? So I read lots from Dr. Stuart McGill. I bought his book, The Back Mechanic, literally £5 on eBay, secondhand. I read a lot of Robin McKenzie's work and I bought his book, Fix Your Own Back, again, £4 off eBay. I started using a lumbar roll, a foam roll if I sat down. And the only way I would sit was in a supportive chair, like a dining chair. I haven't sat on a sofa for months. And I would only sit to eat a meal and then I would be straight back up and standing. I walked a lot. I started doing the McGill Big 3 exercises, religiously, multiple times a day. No stretches, but I would do those exercises. I would do the McKenzie exercises. Again, I would keep walking. I started having much more protein in my diet because obviously there's a lot of repair that's trying to go on. I massively cleaned up my diet. I was having kind of lots of sugar and chocolate and I was just really depressed and hungry on the meds. I cut sugar out. Not that I'm a big drinker, but I literally haven't barely had a drink for months because I've been on so many meds. But I tried to eat cleaner. And sleep was hard. But if I needed to nap in the day, I would just listen to my body. I need to have a nap. It's too much. I need to have a lie down. And that's okay. So I started doing those exercises religiously. Then I looked into obviously my core must have been weak for this injury to have occurred. 17 years of nursing, moving and handling, bending, twisting, load. I have a very high percentile son. So he is now almost 25 kilograms. He is 4. He is 121 centimeters. So he's pretty much almost here on me. And I'm 5'8". But I would just pick him up. I wouldn't even think about it. I would just bend, flex my back, no core engaged, no neutral spine, no squat. I would just bend like that and just pick him up, and then I would have him straight on my hip. It's just pulling my disc that way, but not even think about it. But at work, I was actually quite sensible, like brace core, neutral spine, whatever I was doing. So I think a lot of the damage and the loading came from things like that. Just everyday things you don't even think about. Picking a bag up and it twisting you because it's heavy, things like that. So I actually decided to try and almost protect my spine like it was in cotton wool. So I followed the principles as if I had had surgery. So no bending, lifting, twisting for as long as you can manage. So I literally bought a litter grabber for like £9 off Amazon. I would not bend, okay? So if I needed to pick something up, use the grabber. If the washing needs to be put into the washing machine and out, my husband's been doing it for months. I haven't been hoovering. I've only just kind of gently started hoovering. No mowing the lawn, no twisting. I barely drove, just to really kind of calm that nerve root down. The exercises. I did that for a couple of weeks. I was reading more into things, and I found an online program that's kind of specialised for people going through herniated discs and sciatica, and they're based in Cheltenham, and so he's an osteopath, and I have signed up for like the basic plan. So everything is online and you get all the information, all the videos, tutorials and exercises. I started that on the 12th of June, and 2 weeks after adding those exercises in, and they were really hard at first, like don't get me wrong, I just noticed I started to feel better. Like the pain was better. My nerve symptoms were a bit better. My foot stopped being numb, and I couldn't believe it because I literally woke up and I could feel my foot one day. I was just more flexible. I could get on the floor to do the exercises quicker. And I went out with my mum friend and her son and my son just to the park. And I sat down on the bench. She was like, "Oh my God, you're sitting. I haven't seen you sit for months." And normally I just brace for the pain. I brace for it. Like if I'm going to sit, it's got to be worth it. I'll sit for a meal or I'll sit in the pub for a quick drink, but I wouldn't sit on a bench. But I sat on a bench. So I knew these exercises were strengthening and helping the muscles that are there, so therefore supporting my spine. So I went to the GP kind of 2 weeks around after that, and I said, you know what, I feel better. I want to start coming off all these strong medications. And they'd wanted to get me off tramadol for a little while. So I dropped my medications. I essentially kind of had tramadol in the morning, because in the morning were bad, it was always bad. Tramadol before bed, and then just skipped it in the day. I came off the tramadol very quickly. Next step was the nefapam, similar. I just had it kind of twice a day. I'd have 2, and then I dropped it to 1, and same for bed. Felt fine. Pregabalin, I'm still tapering. That's taken a while. You have to be very gentle with your dosing. So I was on 150. And I'm now on 25 once a day. And in the next 6 days, in theory, I should be off that as well. That has been a bit tricky. I have suffered with a bit of insomnia and I feel quite wired at night, but I'll take it compared to feeling awful on it. And then the amitriptyline, I'm also weaning that. So I'm nearly on 30. So I'm really close to being off it. I'm on naproxen and on paracetamol. So I'm hoping I can soon be in a position where I just take the naproxen maybe morning if I need it, rather than relying on it so much. But yeah, I literally took a huge bag of meds to the pharmacy the other day. There must have been I'm not joking, 100 pregabalin in there, 100 nefapam, tramadol. It was the best feeling in the world. The best feeling in the world. So on this plan I'm doing, and I will link it for you, you start with kind of basic exercises. You're aiming for 10 reps of each, and there's 5 exercises. And as you move through the different phases, there's 4 phases, you introduce weights and resistant bands. So I got resistant bands because they were kind of cheap and a bit easier for me to do first because we don't have any weights at home. Found them okay, but realizing I need to up the load, and it's really hard to know what you're actually lifting with resistant bands. So I barely spent any money for months. I've barely been out. I've barely done anything because it's been so miserable. Even my birthday in May, I was in agony. I was just so sore I couldn't do anything. So I spent a bit of money and I got some adjustable dumbbell sets and an adjustable kettlebell. And then my husband will be using them as well because he's kind of wanting to get back into weight training. So I have been very gradually loading that weight, and I am now squatting like 16, 18 kilograms. I couldn't even properly squat when I started this program. I started in June. I could maybe walk for 10, 15 minutes max when I was, like, if I was on a walk, I could do 10, 15 minutes. I don't know how I was on the ward, just constantly going up and down, up and down. I don't know how I did it. Now, I can walk for like an hour, no pain, no symptoms. It's incredible. So I'm almost moving into phase 4 of this program. I've got 1 more week off work, and then I have 2 weeks off annual leave, and I have a holiday booked, which I didn't think I'd be able to go because I thought I'd be too sore. And hopefully I'll be off all my painkillers, and I can actually have a drink with a meal abroad like normal people do, and just sit down and enjoy being in the sun. So yeah, that's where we are. So I think what I want to say to you is, for me, these are my tips, and everyone's different. But for me, if you're doing something and your symptoms, your pain or your nerve symptoms are getting worse, that's obviously aggravating that injury. So that's why bending is such a problem. So sometimes when you bend, and if you bend kind of your back at the middle, it's so bad, like flexion like that. So you need to aim to kind of have a neutral spine, and kind of bend at the hip, or squat if you need to bend. And sometimes you feel okay bending, but it's coming back like you're very sore. So I just stopped bending because my son can have 15 cars all over the floor. So I was just bending repeatedly. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. I would just bend it and do another one. And that's mad. So like every day my body's trying to heal. It's trying to reseal that disc. It's trying to absorb that material. It's trying to take all of that product away. And I'm just aggravating it continuously. So I got the grabber and I stopped doing that. A lot of the exercises are extension exercises where you're basically on your front and you kind of bend your back. For some people, that gives them great relief. It didn't personally for me, and I had to kind of take that one very gentle, but I did start feeling better after doing that. And again, like, I probably wouldn't lift anything more than a kettle of water when I first started, and I always kept the weight really close. So keep your weight really close if you've got to do something. Standing desk. I cannot tell you how amazing these are. Supportive shoes, whatever you're doing, make sure you've got good arch support. Ice for me, like there's heat, there's ice. I found ice just worked better for me. Walking. Some people will say actually walking makes my symptoms worse. Listen to your symptoms. If you're walking and it's getting worse, stop. Like, you're not training. We're not training for a marathon. We are trying to rehabilitate ourselves. This is not a race. For me, walking helped, but I could barely like comfortably do that walk, and I would just kind of go through that pain, and that is not what you're supposed to do. Little other practical tips. I would move any clothes that are low down that you are using. I'd move them higher up into a drawer set. When my leg was better, normally the day goes on, the pain is better. So I would get my clothes out for the morning, the night before, like up high. And then when I woke up in agony, I'd kind of do a lumbar roll to get out of bed. So I wouldn't just like get up from bed. I would roll onto my side, right on the edge, and swing my legs over the bed. And as you swing your legs, your body comes up with you. So you're kind of doing that. Then you get on the edge of the bed and you kind of open your legs a bit, get them wide like you're going to do a squat, and you squat up out of bed. That is how I was kind of taught to do it. And that made a huge difference for me, because obviously overnight, your discs swell overnight. There's a lot of inflammatory processes going on in the night as well. So that's why morning pain is normally really bad. So I would have all my clothes out after I've got out of bed. I would go downstairs, whether it be 4 or 5 in the morning. I'd have my painkillers. I'd do my lap around the kitchen about 100 times just to get things moving. And I would take my dog early in the morning. So by like 6 a.m. when the rest of my family were waking up, I'd already felt like I'd lived half a day. And it is any wonder by 10, 11 a.m. I'm exhausted and I need a nap. But that's okay. You need to listen to your body. And if you're off sick, you can ensure you can pace yourself appropriately. So that is my advice to anybody. And the other thing I would say is, however long you think it's going to take, it will take longer. and even longer if you do things that continuously irritate it. It is mad when I think about it, but I should have gone off sick properly in December when it, you know, nipped it in the bud, started the process then. I think I would not be in a position later on where I have been. So yeah, I think obviously, and I will post my MRI pictures here and I'll talk about my report as well. But I think you just have to be really kind to yourself. And even at the GP, I was like, I want to get off. I'm on so many painkillers. Like, I don't want to be on this stuff. Like, I feel like a drug addict. Like, why aren't I getting better? And he was like, you have a horrible injury. You're in an appropriate to the analgesics you're on amount of pain. It's going to take time. Not Hanna time in your head. It's going to take time, and you have to allow your body that time, uninterrupted. You have to support your body to heal itself. And I'm hoping eventually I will be fully healed, hopefully another couple of months. I'm likely going to have to move job roles just to protect my back for a period of time, because obviously even if your pain is better and your pain goes, so obviously that disc material has been absorbed, your disc is still very vulnerable and it's still healing, and it can take up to kind of a year, sometimes 2 years. So if you go and start doing the things without thinking, without the neutral spine, without bracing your core, bending forward in the back, like, this will re-injure you. So just because you're pain-free does not mean you're injury-free. And I think that in my head, I've always got to think that, because I have a good day. Like, I mowed the back lawn yesterday. We haven't got a big lawn, but that was the one thing I did. I don't want to do too much. I have to pace myself. The other day I did loads of walking. I hoovered the house. I didn't even think. I just felt so great. I was just going for it. The next morning, I could barely get out of bed. And I was like, oh, what have I done to myself? I've like re-injured myself. But I hadn't. It was just a flare. And I've been coming off painkillers. So I've got a lot going on. So don't frighten yourself to think that you've done something drastically wrong. You're just having a bit of a flare. And if you need to take some stronger painkillers to get you through those couple of days, whilst you're weaning off something else that's very strong, that's okay too. Because the GP was like, we can't have you not sleeping, being in agony, coming off this stuff. We need you to get you comfortable to get off the stronger stuff. So the whole thing is a learning curve. And I just hope I've helped people who are in a similar situation. But yeah, I am hoping if we continue the way we are, I won't need surgery, and I will hopefully at some point soon be able to just pick my son up for the odd cuddle, neutral spine, core engaged, squat, pick him up, keep the weight here, little cuddle, put him down. Yeah, not been able to do that since December, really. I have been, like, and I shouldn't have done that, by the way. So yeah, and I can't recommend the program I've been using, or the Mackenzie exercises, or Stuart McGill's Big 3 enough. And even the program I've used, there is so much free resources on the YouTube page for them. You can start without even having to sign up. So yeah, but if anyone finds this helpful, I'll just be so glad. And if you've got any questions, and like I said, I will put my MRI images on so you can have a good look, and I can talk you through the report as well. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, everybody.